Cody's have finally done it. They've listened to their fans and the actual players that play their game and released their very first good expansion for Grid Legends. And this expansion includes 4 new cars, a new game mode, and a new track. But is it too little too late? Stay tuned, I'll be going over everything new, patch notes, and changes to the new Grid Legends expansion, Enduring Spirits. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Today we're going to be going over the new premium expansion for Grid Legends called Enduring Spirits. The content they've just added really warms my little heart and soul, because I was really getting extremely fed up with Cody's and their handling of the current Grid title and the Grid series as a whole. I've secretly been praying to the Cody's God every night before I go to bed, hoping, begging, and making small sacrifices in the hope that they would add some actual racing related content to this game. Not just racing specifically, or more specifically, circuit racing, touring racing. You know, what Race Driver was originally about and what originally brought in the fans for this franchise. I have a lot to say about this very broken and weird little racing game, but I'll save that for another video. Firstly, the biggest new addition to the game is the brand new main menu art. Well, the loading screen. Look at it, it's beautiful. They've also added a brand new story to Grid, which adds 8 new story events, complete with the cutscenes that no one cares about, where you play as a new, driver named Laura Carvalho. Similar to the classic Carnage, it brings an entirely new game mode to Legends called multi-class endurance races. Now, in this new game mode, it functions exactly how, for example, the 24 hours of Le Mans or the 24 hours of Sebring races work in real life, where it's based off of whoever goes the furthest distance after a set amount of time. In this case, in Grid Legends, it's 8 minutes. Now, this is a huge upgrade over the previous multi-class game mode. They use some weird formula to calculate the winner from all of the classes. This is a great game mode and it's really, really fun. Hope to see some multiplayer races online using this game mode. Secondly, they've added 4 new cars, 3 of which are actually race cars. These are the Bentley Speed 8, the BMW V12 LMR, which oddly enough are in the vintage racing class with the Mazda 787B. I wouldn't really consider these vintage since they both were raced in the early 2000s, whereas the 787B was raced in the early 90s, but whatever, it's not my game. The third car they've added is the GT3 class Bentley Continental, which is an awesome addition. We can always use more cars in the GT categories. And lastly, they added the Mazda AutoZam, which is a strange mid-engine 3-cylinder key car. This car sits in its very own category with no other vehicles. Trust me, it drives like crap. I hate it. I don't see anybody driving this car ever except to complete the career mode event. Now, the last addition, and certainly not the least, they've added Fiji Speedway. Now, Fiji Speedway is a very technical and a very fast track with one of the longest straightaways in the game currently. It's a very fun track and a nice welcome addition to the game. On top of those, they've also added some new liveries, player tags, and emblems, and some of the tracks are Halloween themed currently. Fun. They've also added ramps and boost gates to some of the layouts that previously didn't have those incorporated. As far as the patch notes go, there's no real major additions or changes as far as I can tell. Most of the patch notes are kind of just run-of-the-mill performance improvements, small bug fixes. I think the only fix that may be noteworthy to some people is that they have made a fix pertaining to the completion of objectives or events. I know some people online were saying that they're still not able to complete the game because of not being able to complete certain career events. So it's good to see that they have at least fixed that. Now, if you own the deluxe edition of the game, you will get this add-on for free. If you don't own this edition, which I'm assuming most people probably don't, then it's going to be 10 bucks for you. So it took me a little over an hour to complete the 8 story missions. That's pretty short in my opinion, but then again, it is only $10. The story missions do an okay job at showing off the new tracks and layouts with the new vehicles, with a notable event where you race through a sandstorm in stadium trucks. The cutscenes with the new, driver you race as, they're pretty pointless and don't add much to the gameplay or the story they're attempting to make us care about. I think they should just save the money they're using for the cutscenes and use that to add something the players actually want in the game, like maybe more circuit tracks, field management, forced pit stops, or qualifying. But on a good note, the new endurance game mode is pretty freaking fun. In the career races, there's an 8-minute timer, and there are multiple classes racing at the same time. You can also only race one class if you prefer that instead. And at the end of the 8 minutes, whenever the overall first place driver crosses the finish line, the winner of each class is determined by whoever went the furthest distance. Now let me say, I love this. It reminds me of the day to night Le Mans races in the original grid game. It adds just a little bit of strategy when it comes to the traffic management, so it's a very nice step in the right direction. And as far as the new liveries and emblems go, I didn't really take the time to look through them all because as far as I could tell, there was no real way of knowing what was new and what was already added in the game. I did read online somewhere that they made some changes to the livery editor, but as far as I could tell, I couldn't really spot any differences. If you notice anything new, let me know in the comments down below. Now, on to Fuji Speedway. Now, this was my very first time racing on this track in any racing game, so let me tell you, it is a lot of fun. I love technical tracks, so it is a very technical and it's a pretty speedy track and it's very wide. So it makes for a lot of passing opportunities. Not to mention the mile-long straightaway, which I believe is the longest in the game. Mount Panorama may have it beat by a little bit though. I'm not sure, I have to do some research on it. But personally, I'm having a hard time hitting my braking zones. On some areas of the track, it's hard to spot the distance markers, and I couldn't really notice any real landmarks that stand out to go off of, but this may just be a personal error, and I may just suck. But the visuals on the track are okay, I guess. Same as the visuals for the rest of the game, nothing really eye-catching, just meh, it gets the job done. You can tell where the grass is and where the track is. So the 4 new cars are great additions to the game. The Bentley Speed 8 is a very nimble beast that brings back fond memories of racing in the older Forza titles. Then they have the BMW V12 LMR, which is a 12-cylinder torquey powerhouse. Now these 2 cars race against a Mazda 787B, once again in the vintage racers category. And it is nice to have something else to race with in that category, but I do feel like maybe they could have been a better fit somewhere else. I don't know. You decide. The last car they've added is the GT3 Continental, which is a very proven World Championship winning endurance racer. Fits very nicely with the other GT3 class racers, and it's nice to have another option to choose from. Huh? You said I forgot about the Mazda? And you said people want to know about this car? Fine. Okay, whatever. I'll go over to Mazda. Okay, so the Mazda AutoZam is a 3-cylinder mid-engine kei car released by Mazda and Suzuki. It's got pretty cool gold-wing doors, and it's really tiny, and it flips over a lot, and it handles like a fat go-kart. Fine. You happy? Overall, this add-on was pretty decent. I wish there were more content and some more major changes made to the game, but we do still have 2 more premium DLCs to go. I think with this add-on, Codemasters are really taking a step in the right direction and giving their fans and players what we've been crying, scratching, and screaming for. We don't want crash fests and more ramps on our racetracks. We want more racing and more racing-focused content. Please continue with this, and we may be able to see a bigger spike in the player base for this game, because sometimes at night it is almost impossible to find halfway full lobbies. But anyways, thanks for coming to my channel, everyone. Thanks for watching. Please, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, you know, all of that good stuff. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace. Also, side note, sorry for not uploading as much. Big apologies to my original subscribers. I got a little depressed, got a little uninspired, but I promise I'm back, baby. Back in this thing. Okay. Peace for real this time.